Good afternoon. Happy Monday. It is afternoon. A little bit of a late start today. Welcome in. Welcome in. We have orders going out the door. eBay, Poshmark, Amazon, and a coffee order from Chris at peak.com. We're going to be busy. I think there's like 30, I think it's 33 orders total going out the door. So yeah, we'll be moving and grooving for a little bit. I'll try to move fast today. As always, I love hearing your questions, whether you're watching this live. We are streaming on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. So whether you're watching live or you're watching the recording, that's always available on Facebook and YouTube as soon as this live's over. Appreciate you being here, and we'll happy to answer your questions either way, if you're live or not. So let me know down below in the chat if you have any questions, or if you want to share what's going on with your business too. I'd love to hear about it. And we got a lot to do, so we're probably going to move and groove a little bit, but you can always slow me down with questions. I love those questions. The sole purpose of this live is just to give you a good, honest, transparent look into our business, so that can inform your business as you're just getting started or as you're growing your business. So appreciate y'all being here. Happy Monday. We do this every Monday, usually around 11 a.m. I got a late start today. What's up, Mazda John? 14 sales this weekend, 200-piece store back in. That's great. Great sell-through rate for the weekend, Mazda John. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. For some reason, the Instagram isn't linking up. Let's see what's going on with that. Let me just try that. Something real quick. See if I can fix Instagram. We'll try this, see if that works. And let me know down below in the chat. You're the boss, as always. Just for a moment, you can let me know exactly which platform we're going to start with: eBay, Poshmark, Amazon, or coffee. You can let me know down below. We're going to ship all those orders, but let me know what we're going to start with. Just drop it in the chat. First one I see is what we'll start with. Let's see if we can get Instagram to work. I don't know that Instagram is going to work. We'll try. Good morning, Sophia. What's up? We appreciate you the compliment on the videos. It's awesome. I'll show compliments on the screen. Mazda John says eBay first. We'll start with eBay. I got to show the questions on the screen more often and the comments on the screen. I got to remember to do that. I haven't done that in a while. It's fun doing that. I don't think Instagram is going to boot up. For some reason, it's not cooperating today. So we're live on YouTube and Facebook. That is all good. So let me just move this. I'm going to close out this Instagram thing since I don't want to cooperate. But we're cooperating on YouTube and Facebook, so that's cool. Sophia, Mazda John beat you with the eBay vote. All right, I'm going to drop in all the tools and supplies that we're going to use today and everything I use for my business. I'm going to drop that link down below here in the chat. What's up, Kathy? And I want to hear about how your business, how your sales. I'm going to show you all mine. I'd love to hear what's going on with you. That link right there is a link to all the recommended tools that we use for our business. And if you want it, so if you're looking for shipping supplies or whatever it might be, we probably have it linked in that sheet. And I have pretty good descriptions of everything. Kathy's in Chicago. What is up, Kathy? Appreciate you following. All right, we're going to do eBay first. Ooh, I don't think I printed out the labels yet. I didn't. We'll print out these labels. Oh, I got to get a new stack of labels. Ran out of labels. Guess this is a good time to showcase. These are the labels that I get. I have these linked in that recommended reseller supplies, which is in the description of this video. It's also in the chat just above too. This is 500 labels. I think they're like 20 something bucks. End up being I think about 3 or 4 cents a piece at the end of the day. So we're opening these up. I have one last label from the last roll. This is like a generic, the brand is like Bugbo or something, but it's just a lower cost generic brand. I've used a bunch of these different label brands. You don't need to spend the money to get the expensive labels from whatever the printer is that you use. I use the IDPRT. I don't buy IDPRT labels. They're the same thing as these. They just charge more. No difference. Just give me 1 minute. We'll load up these labels here. Happy Monday. Sorry, this isn't the most fun thing to do right now. This would be easier if the whole floor wasn't covered with orders that we're about to ship out. Let's see here. Welcome in, welcome in. Getting the shipping label printer loaded up here. That didn't work. Technical difficulties. It's not supposed to be this hard. If you're smart, it wouldn't be like this. There we go. We're in business. It took a minute. Ooh-wee. Good afternoon, Calhoun, Georgia, in the house. What's up, Faith? Okay, now we got this all figured out. The joys of live TV, eh? How's everyone doing? You have a good weekend? Kim and I had a nice weekend. We took a drive up Saturday afternoon to Madison County. And it was kind of the reopening of, sorry. Give me a second here. It was the reopening of a town called Marshall. You might have seen a video that I created the first week of November. It was about 36 days after the storm. And the town, the downtown was just totally flooded out. Every single business and home was totally destroyed and gutted at that point in time. There was nothing open in the town of Marshall, not one thing. And there wasn't for months after the storm. Kim and I rolled through there about 2 months ago. And there was like a bike shop and like one other store open total in the entire downtown. But they did a grand reopening over the weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to invite people back to downtown Marshall, like the public, like, come on back. And it was cool. I would say probably, 30% of the stores and shops and restaurants downtown are reopened. So it was nice. Kim and I went and grabbed a beer at a brewery called Mad Cow Brewing. It's Madison County, so Mad Cow Brewing, and they have pizza there too. So we went and grabbed a beer and just kind of walked around town and just saw like the energy, like the rebirth of the town of Marshall. They got a long way to go. But it was good. It was uplifting. It was still a little sad to walk around the town, but it was nice to see a lot of progress. But boy, they got a long way to go. We're over 7 months since the storm now. And there's just, I would say probably 70% of the downtown still isn't reopened, but it looks so much better than when we went there in November for sure. Jane's in the house from Missouri. What's up, Francis? Hello. Appreciate all your warm comments on videos and stuff, Francis. Appreciate that a lot. Listen to that machine working. Hey, from Delaware, Melissa's in the house. What did I miss here? If I missed one of your comments, I apologize. I didn't mean to, just doing stuff. Can you explain listing impressions, click-through rate, listing page views, and sales conversion rate like I'm a third grader, please? Stephen, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that in this live. I don't really look at a lot of that stuff. Maybe I should, but I don't know that I could give you a really articulate conversation about listing impressions, click-through rate, listing page views, and sales conversion rate like you're a third grader. I might be the third grader when it comes to that stuff. I don't really look too deep into that stuff. Maybe ask Chemo. Chemo's got an answer for that. K-Pasta. Thank you for letting me know what K-Pasta means, Chemo. I appreciate that. Thank you for teaching me French. Kathy's in the house from Michigan. All right, let's get some shipping done. All right, let's get to business here. A little sideways start, but we are back. All right, our first order is going to be for John. He was that first label that printed out, that one lonely label. So let's get John's order out together. This one just came in this morning. Brooks Brothers, as you know, this is one of my top sellers every year. It's usually like number 2 or number 3. That's in terms of units sold every single year. Brooks Brothers, this is a Madison, which is the fit. The key here is that this awesome pattern and the golden fleece logo on the chest right there. So this one sold for $18. I paid $5 at the thrift store. The buyer is paying $6.95 shipping. Make about $10 off this shirt, maybe $11. The shipping label is costing me $5.21, so we'll make about $1.70 off the shipping label. Sometimes you make a buck, sometimes you lose a buck on the shipping. I do all flat rate shipping, $6.95 for shirts. This is going to John in Springfield, Virginia. There's a lot of Springfields. I had to check which state. That's like one of those town names. It's like, I feel like every state's got a Springfield somewhere in the state, right? Next up is an order for Jeffrey. I love those Brooks Brothers with when the logo's on the chest and like a really good pattern like that, especially a nice spring pattern. This one's Orbis, another common brand, something that a lot of people pass. I like picking them up if I can get them for $5. This is a heavyweight polo shirt. This one's a long sleeve. Sold for $19.80 plus $6.95 shipping. That $19.80 reflects that this was a Nifty offer. So Nifty sent out an automatic offer for 10% off once Jeffrey liked this item or watched this item. So closing deals for me. I love that. One of the things I love about Nifty. Nifty is my cross-lister tool. It's also automation. So if you want to know how you can like get good, consistent sales on multiple platforms, Nifty is one of those weapons that helps me get there. It's one of those advantages in the marketplace it gives me. And those auto offers are freaking huge. So this is going out to Jeffrey in Kingsport, Tennessee. I paid $5 for the set of thrift. I'll probably end up making about $12 on this shirt. That was an Orvis, a common one. I like picking up Orvis. I know a lot of people say that they have a hard time selling Orvis, but their photos probably aren't as good as mine. They're probably not taking the time to put measurements in each listing. They're probably not promoting. They're probably not using an automation tool like Nifty to show up higher in search results because of the auto shares, the auto offers, and the auto delist and relist. So if you're going to copy the model, you just can't skip steps. And a shirt like that, Orvis, very crowded market. It's going to be tough to sell unless you take all those additional steps, the steps that I do, the steps that Chemo takes too. I know he's really doing a lot of those things to be really competitive. Here's another shirt. I think I'm going to say this fellow's name wrong. I guess he's like a famous bull rider, Larry Mahan. Larry Mahan? Somebody can correct me down below in the chat. So Western Pearl Snap shirt. You can see it's got the diamond pearl snaps, which is pretty cool. I picked up 2 of these at a thrift store. I paid $5 a piece for them. The first one sold a couple weeks back. This one now sold for $19.99. Plus the buyer paid $6.95 shipping. Love those diamond pearl snaps. Something to look for when you're out and about. If you see a shirt with diamond pearl snaps on it, probably a pretty good idea to look up that piece. Chemo finds those down in his neck of the woods in Tejas. What's up? Jessica is in the house from Wisconsin. I like how everyone's announcing their state today. I like it. This is going to Leonard. This is going to Pennsylvania. It's going to Ben Salem. Never heard of that town. So that's probably another like $12 profit item, maybe 13 on that one. Made about $1.50 on the shipping. Another one, Brooks Brothers. This is like really common stuff going out the door, except for that Larry Mahan. That was the first time I found that. Brooks Brothers. This is an interesting Brooks Brothers, different label than I'm used to seeing. A modern label. This is a Brooks Brothers Performance. So this is like a polyester stretch, like really lightweight. This isn't the typical cotton one. Nice gingham check pattern on this one. Sold for full asking price, $21.99. I just listed this shirt. I'm going to tell you how long it took to sell. I feel like I listed this Saturday. Is that right? Could that be possible? Let's take a look. I listed that one Saturday, and it sold on Sunday. So 1 day to sell that Brooks Brothers right there. Brooks Brothers Performance. Pretty good. I'll take it. This is going to Joseph. Joseph's in Atlanta, Georgia. About 3.5 hours down the street from us. Can't stay long, but I'll catch the replay. Appreciate that. Whether you're watching live or the replay, I appreciate it. Thanks for saying hi. I'll answer your questions and respond to your comments either way too. Howdy, Trisha Smith. Yes, we are shipping. Yes, we are shipping pants today. We are. We got some great sales today too, so hang around. Please stick around. We got 3 orders that are $80 or more today. We got some brands, the uncommon brands. We also got some really common brands, maybe some new brands, but some really cool sales today too. So hang out. It was a great weekend. Good volume, like good quantity, but also some like really cool, unique stuff and some high dollar stuff, which I like. I like the high dollar stuff. Here's a FootJoy, another really common brand. This is a like a windbreaker pullover. This one's a long sleeve one. What I liked, but I pick these up all the time, these FootJoy windbreakers. But this logo here, I think, helped it sell. Kapalua, which is a golf course in Hawaii. The Plantation course is a famous course. The PGA Tour makes a stop there. I don't know if they make a stop there every year, but the PGA Tour does go through that course, the Kapalua Plantation course. It's like a really famous like golf resort in Hawaii. Like absolutely beautiful course. As you can imagine, like anything in Hawaii is just beautiful, I feel like. But this is going to Carla. This sold for $32.99, which was my full asking price. I didn't have much competition on this particular item because there's just not too many with that logo, and they sell pretty quickly because it's such a desirable course. I'm just going to see how long that took to sell. Maybe. That one took 2 weeks to sell. Yep, 15 days it took to sell that one, that Kapalua. That's going to Carla in another Pennsylvania, Crescent, Pennsylvania, Crescent. That's a good one. So I paid $5 for this at a thrift store, sold it for $32.99. I mean, that's like a $23 profit, $22 profit. I'll take that. We'll take that. Is Telluride Golf Course a good one? Yeah, I would think that's a good one. Telluride's a really just a desirable place to be. It's a very like rich area too. So I imagine their golf course is probably really nice there. Trying to think of where the course is in relation to the town. I don't remember where the golf course is. Yeah, I can't remember where that is. This one's going to Peter Millard. Don't get me. But yes, that would be a desirable logo, I would think. Anything Telluride. Nice. I went to a nice beer festival this weekend. That's great, Trisha. Was it like regional beers, or was it stuff that like from all across the country? Tell me more about that. I'm curious. Found a heavy duty Carhartt jacket at the thrift. How do I find the name model? Is there a secret number or code on the tag? There should be a code on the tag. If the tag is intact, it'll be something like, I'll give you an example. I sold a Carhartt today. It'll be something like the jeans I sold have like a number B17DST. It'll be something like that. And that'll help it sell for sure, but it will sell without that too. Hey there, nice to catch you live. Well, thanks, Mary. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for catching me live. I'm excited about that too. Got a Peter Millar. Not all Peter Millar is created equal, just like every brand. There's stuff that's higher end. There's stuff that's lower end. There's stuff that's more desirable, stuff that's less desirable. This is Peter Millar Crown Crafted, which is the higher end Peter Millar. This stuff is usually upwards of $100 brand new, sometimes even more than that. And this one is a performance shirt. So this isn't just cotton. Like this is a polyester. Actually, this is 100% polyester dress shirt. So moisture wicking, easy care, performance, quick dry, all those keywords, right? This one sold for $27.99 on eBay, plus the buyer paid $6.95 shipping. That took 31 days to sell, but nice sale price on that, $28. So my full asking on that. Not every buyer is going to know that Crown Crafted is like higher end Peter Millar. They might just think it's Peter Millar. They might not realize that the performance ones sell more. So you might get some offers for like $16, $17 on a shirt like that. And I might have. But the buyer who wants the crown crafted, who knows what crown crafted is because they have 4 or 5 of those in their closet and they know how much they sell for new, that person's going to be happy to pay $27.99 for that shirt when other Peter Millar's are selling for like $20 or $19 or whatever. But that buyer that knows, you might have to wait for them a little bit, but the buyer that knows crown crafted, they will pay for it because they know this is probably like $130 shirt or something like that, brand new. And they probably already have one in their closet, right? They just want another one like it and they don't want to pay full price. Got an order. This is a good one. Jane Barnes. I don't pick up everything from this brand. This is an older tag, that black tag. There's also an older white tag as well. But really what you should look for, not necessarily the tag, but it's the pattern. And with this brand, it's kind of like, in a way, I'd say it's similar to Robert Graham or like a Bukachi. Like people like the really bold, colorful, unique stuff in this brand. So I picked up 2 of these in April and they both sold. This is the second one to sell. Sold for a best offer of $28.99 on eBay. I think I had it listed for like $32.99. Went back and forth with the buyer. Thank you, Aaron. Went back and forth with Aaron. And we came to an agreement at $28.99. I paid $5 for the shirt at a thrift store. Took less than a month to sell. But if I bought like a plain Jane Barnes that just kind of had like more of like a modern, typical, common like plaid style, those don't really sell very well. Or if it had like just like a normal kind of stripy pattern like this in Jane Barnes, those don't sell really well. I mean, they will. If you price them at $15 or $16, they'll sell quick. But what you're looking for is the big, the bold, the colorful. That's on brand for Jane Barnes. Next up is a Levi's 559. These took 10 months to sell. I buy and sell a lot of Levi's. I don't mind if some of them sit around for a little while. This is a size 50 by 30. So sometimes you just have to wait for the right buyer. They came along. They paid full asking price, $21.99. Sorry, this is a best offer. $21.99 on the best offer there. Levi's 559 relaxed straight fit or relaxed straight leg. That is a really desirable 559. Is like a little bit hotter right now just because people want those kind of wider leg, relaxed fit. That's kind of back. That's back. It's back in a big way right now. So things like 559, 569, 550, those things are going to sell better right now. That's the style. Even the old heads are wearing the baggy stuff again. For a while, it was just the kids. Now the old heads are doing it too. The kids' parents. Thank you, William. Where are those going? William's in Joaquin, Texas, and he's buying some jeans. Happy Monday. Jeremy's in the house. Good morning, Mira. What's up? I've been following you. Let's put this up on the screen. I've been following you, taking notes from when I started the business. Little medical problems right now, but hopefully I'll be starting by the end of the month. Love all your advice. Mira, first of all, we're all sending you positive vibes with the medical stuff, and hope things work out and you heal or your family heals, whatever the situation may be. Hope that gets better, and excited that you're going to be launching later this week. That's cool, or later this month. Sophia found a Peter Millar summer comfort polo with Telluride golf course logo on it, super curved print on it. Yeah, easy money on there. I think some people, when they find these golf polos, and I don't have an example that sold this weekend, but when they find the golf polos that have the golf course logos on them, like, people shy away. I think people talk about that as being a bad thing. And so if it's like a local course that nobody really knows about, somebody might come. They'd probably prefer the plain one instead of like your local Joe's golf course or whatever, your small town golf course. But there is people that just don't mind that. They're like, I like the color of the shirt, I like the print, and I'm going to wear it to golf, and it has a golf course on it. Neat. Who cares what golf course it is? So those still sell. But a place like Telluride, right? Like, that's a golf course that, people have a lot of like positive vibes would tell you ride, even if it's not the golf course. It's just the town. It's like one of the most beautiful places you'll ever go to, in my opinion. So I think that's a good seller, especially with a good print. So I know there's been a lot of people talk ill about Peter Millar, but boy, I mean, it's still a great brand if you just pick the right pieces and you price them right and you do all the other things. You take really good photos, you describe your item well, you include measurements in the listing, you promote on eBay, and maybe you use a tool like Nifty to cross list onto other platforms so you get a bigger audience, and use Nifty for automation so that you get the advantages of showing up higher in search and all that stuff. So, but I think, if you're doing all those things, a brand like Peter Millar can sell really well, even if you don't pick the perfect items. Best weekend yet, Lori. That's awesome. That's awesome. Congrats to Lori for a great weekend. Do you know about Royal Knight vintage shirts? I don't think so, Mike. That brand does not. I can't picture it off the top of my head right now. It doesn't ring a bell. Do you pick up Nautica men's? I do see button down sweaters, pullovers at thrift stores. Nautica is one of those brands where I would say like 99.99999% of Nautica I don't pick up. Have I picked up a handful over the years of like vintage, unique, cool stuff? Yes. But it's typically like not a brand that I would pick up. I haven't picked up one in 2025. I haven't just come across one that was like unique or different enough or vintage. It really has to be a special piece in Nautica for me to pick it up. Got a sale here at Duluth Trading. I sold a few of these in the last couple of days. Love the questions. Keep them coming. Slow me down. You're not going to be able to see like the logo and stuff on this. It's all packed up. But this is a pair of hiking pants. One of the things that I do in my listings that I think gives me a little bit of advantage on something like this is I look at the style number that's on the tag and I Google it. So I Googled Duluth, and I don't remember what the number was. Duluth 72539. And I Google that, and I find on the Duluth website that that's a Duluth Trading. It's what they call dry on the fly is the model. So I put that into my item title. So this is a Duluth Trading Company dry on the fly, women's 16 by 29 stretch roll up hiking pants gray. But I think, if somebody's looking, they're Googling for the on the fly pants because they don't want to buy it from the Duluth website and pay full price. They're going to see if they can get a discount somewhere. And guess what? When you Google, eBay results can show up too if you have that item name in it. The person's probably not going to search for the style number in this case. They're probably going to just be looking for that item name. So that's an advantage. These ones actually sold really quick for me. And they sold for $22.99. They're probably like, I don't know, $60 brand new or something like that, $70 brand new. And the buyer for this probably came through Google is probably how they found these, would be my guess. And these took 1 day to sell. I said they sold quick. I listed them on Saturday. They sold on Sunday. So there you go. So that's one of those little tricks that I do. I don't do that on every single item, but I had an instinct on this that maybe that would be a good thing to do. I don't use the AI description, although I don't not recommend it. I don't think it's a bad idea, but I just don't do it. Can I get removed from selling? I don't know what you mean by that question. Can you give me a little bit more context, Debbie? I'm not sure what you're asking. Why would eBay Vero Kylie Jenner lipstick? I'm not exactly sure. I don't sell a lot of lipstick, and I don't sell a lot from the Kylie Jenner brand or anything from that brand. But it might just be that they're on the Vero list where you can't sell that item. There's also something that brands will do. They'll go in and they'll just claim that everything that's being sold on eBay is fake, so it wasn't probably anything that you did wrong. They'll just go through and there's nothing eBay can do about it. eBay has to take it down if the brand reports it as inauthentic. So I'm not sure what happened in your case. You'll probably have to read your email. There'll be probably a vague description in your email, but maybe somebody in the chat knows more about Kylie Jenner lipstick. I just don't. I'm sorry. I just don't really sell that kind of stuff, but maybe somebody knows. But if it were me, if I were in your situation and I had no other information than what you just shared with me, I would just say, well, I'm probably not going to list that on eBay. Maybe I'll try to list that on Poshmark. That would probably be what I do with that, or try to sell it locally on Facebook or something like that. I just don't know enough about lipstick or Kylie Jenner to give you more insight than that. All right, so this is going out. Let's get a shipping label going here. This is going out to Kelly in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's a state that I've never set foot in. I've never been to Minnesota. It's not like I've avoided it or anything. It's just, I guess I just haven't had like a reason to go there. I don't think I know anybody who lives there. All right, so these sold, what I say, $22.99 plus $8.95 shipping. So I'll make about $14, $15 off that pair right there. So I'd say 14 on that. Next one's going to Jennifer. This is a good one here. You got some really good sales. I haven't even got to like the heavy hitter stuff yet. So stick around if you like the heavy hitter stuff. Peter Millar. This is a women's like puffer vest. I used the keywords puffer and packable, quilted, all those keywords I used on this one. And this one sold for $32 plus $6.95 shipping. I paid $5 for this at the thrift store. So really great flip here. Probably made about $22, $23 on this one piece right here. I'm going to tell you how long it took to sell. I feel like it took about a month. Let's see, 32 days. That was pretty close. So 32 days it took to sell. Paid $5, sold for $32. Peter Millar women's. The model here is called Addison, if you care. The model name was like right on the inside of the jacket, like, or the vest. There was like a patch like right here on the inside. It said Peter Millar Addison, and it had the size on it. So that's a really easy example of including the model name. Sometimes they just print it right on the item, which is nice. Like I didn't have to do any detective work, sleuth work to get that one. This is going to Jennifer in South Hamilton, Massachusetts. Not sure where South Hamilton is. I grew up in New Hampshire, spent a lot of time in Massachusetts. I can't think of where South Hamilton is. Next up is for Todd. We're going back to the Northeast. This is going to Scarsdale, New York. Really great sale right here. Did a video about this one just the other day. You're not going to be able to see the tag, sorry. The brand is Wallace and Barnes. So this is a J. Crew brand. You can find this as like high-end J. Crew that you can find in some of the J. Crew stores. Not factory stores, but like the J. Crew stores. The nice ones. Wallace and Barnes is the brand. Great seller. I pick up pretty much, I can't think of an example of something I wouldn't pick up from Wallace and Barnes. Maybe socks, I don't know. This one sold, it's a pair of shorts. It's corduroy. $28.80. They're called dock shorts. This is another example. I just like went to the Wallace and Barnes website and looked up corduroy shorts and found they called them dock shorts. So again, I put that in the item title, 6-inch dock shorts. Of course, I put cotton, corduroy, and all that stuff in there too. So $28.80. I paid $5 at the thrift store. These sold pretty quickly. I'll tell you how fast these went out the door. This is a quick one. Let's see, 10 days on that one. 10 days on that one. Sold on eBay. $28.80. About a $19 profit on that. It's going to Todd. Going up to New York. They're thawing out up in New York. Now they're getting their shorts game on. What we got next? Got a brand new pair of pants coming next. Thank you, Todd, for your order. Could you list what button downs you look for? Meredith, there's like a billion. I don't know that I would be able to give a good list, but maybe we can ask the chat right now. Drop some of your favorite brands for button downs in the chat. Drop them. Let's help out Meredith. There's so many of them. I mean, I have Meredith go through my account, my Facebook account. It's literally all the reels are things that you should be looking for, and button downs is my biggest category. So you're going to find a whole bunch of reels, just really quick, right to the point reels that are telling you exactly what I'm picking up and showing you exactly how much those things sell for on eBay. So if you scrolled through and spent about 25 or 30 minutes going through some of those reels, you can get out your pen and start taking notes. You're gonna learn a heck of a lot. And of course, it's always like look beyond the brand. There's certain things there's certain items that are button downs from a brand that I might pick up and other ones that I won't pick up. But so that's why it's hard to just like give you a list, because it wouldn't give you all the nuance and details you needed. But maybe some folks will play along and drop some brands down below in the chat. And we also we'll ship out some button downs too today. Brand new with tags, Carhartt jeans. I don't remember how much I paid for these. I forget. I don't remember if I picked them up at Retail arbitrage, or did I find these at a thrift store? I just don't remember. I'm sorry, but they sold for $33.99 and plus $8.95 shipping. And that was my full asking price. I listed these on Saturday. They sold on Sunday. Saturday was like that was good. I'm glad I listed on Saturday because I sold a lot of stuff on Sunday that I listed on Saturday. So I did list like 20, I think I listed 22 items on Saturday. So there you go. We skipped. We were going to do a hike earlier in the day on Saturday. Instead, I just Kim, I really just need to list a whole bunch of stuff, and felt like I hadn't listed enough last week. But boy, I'm glad I put in that extra time on Saturday because a lot of these sales as they're going out the door, I'm like, I listed this Saturday. There's actually more as I'm looking at the list that I literally listed Saturday and they sold Sunday. This is going out to Nathan. Nathan's in Bentonville, Arkansas. All right. Next up, we got new Under Armour. I picked this up retail arbitrage. I picked up, I forget, 2 or 3 of them. 2 of them I've already sold. I paid $13 a piece. I don't pick up all Under Armour, but this one is $110. So MSRP, it's a hoodie. It's called the Unstoppable Fleece Hoodie. So I paid $13. This one sold for $38.99. And I already sold another one of these. I'm going to look up what the other one sold for. The other one. So this one took 16 days to sell, but I already sold one, the same exact SKU. That one took 4 days to sell, and that one sold for $40. So $13 a piece. One sold for $40, one sold for $38.99. Not bad. Not bad. That was a good pickup. There was a lot of comps in like not a lot of comps, but some comps in like the $40-something range. I was like, I'll pay $13 for this. I'll do it. I did it. Not all Under Armour is worth that. A lot of these like Under Armour fleeces and stuff, the retail price will be like $50 or $60. This one was obviously like a nicer piece with that $110 retail price. This is going to Job. Job's in St. Louis, Missouri. The Lou. Thank you, Melissa, for dropping some names in there. That is what I did. Watched you in K-Way videos and have a notebook full of brains and notes. I love that. Yo, when I started doing this, I watched 2 people the most. I watched somebody called Hustle at Home Mom. So you might want to write that one down. Hustle at Home Mom. Somebody can drop her channel name. She's everywhere. She's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I think she's on all the platforms. And what I would do is I would just watch her YouTube videos, and I would take my phone and I would like if she was showing a brand that she sold that I'd never heard of before, I'd pause it. I would take a screenshot of that item, and then when I'd go into a thrift store, like when I was getting ready to walk in the door, that weekend, I'd scroll through and I'd look at all those photos that I took. Another person I followed is Ready, Set, Resell. His name's Ben. And I think Hustle at Home Mom is Ashley. Just really, really smart people who have been full-time resellers for a long time to have crazy, crazy amounts of knowledge. So, but same thing, Ready, Set, Resell. He used to do these live streams similar to this. That wasn't live, but it was like it'd be a YouTube video, and he would have all the tabs of all the eBay sales he had over the weekend. He'd have them all open, and he would just run through, and he would show you this like it was a screen share, and he was just showing you his eBay screen and how much items sold for. And I would just take screenshots of that with my phone. I would just take a photo of the computer screen. And then I would have that. And then before I went into the thrift store, I'd scroll through my new brands so they were fresh in my mind. And then I would go into attack mode at the thrift store. And that's how I got started. And I had a full-time job, and I would just source on Saturday mornings at the thrift store. A lot of people say, I don't thrift on the weekends. It's too busy. There's nothing there. That's how I built this business in the early days, was sourcing on Saturday morning. That was it. And then I listed after work during the weekdays. And I didn't do anything on Sunday. We hiked or skied or climbed or whatever. That was back when we lived in Colorado. Next up, one of the best, we'll call it, it's the best. It's the best sale of the weekend. It's the best sale. Bonobos. So I don't pick up this brand in like shirts and stuff. Those really just don't sell well anymore. I do pick up some of their pants. But this is a 2-piece suit. And you can see that this has the Marzotto wool, which is an Italian wool, which is really common on Bonobos pieces, but you'll find it on other brands too. It's a wool maker. So a lot of these like nicer brands will buy wool from these high-end wool makers like Marzotto. So this one sold for $119.99, and it only took a couple days, I feel like. This might have been one that I listed on Saturday. Let's check. Let's check. I sold 2 Bonobos pieces over the weekend. This took 1 day to sell. Yep, I listed this Saturday. It sold on Sunday. That was my hot day. I'm glad I listed on Saturday, right? Because a lot of these sales were literally items I listed Saturday and sold on Sunday. So that's what made Sunday such a great day. It was an awesome weekend. This full asking price, $119.99 on this. I paid $10 at a thrift store. Awesome flip right here. 2-piece suit. Part of what the big thing that made this sell so well is it's going to be hard to see the pattern. It's got an awesome blue plaid pattern. It's really hard to see probably through the camera. But really awesome blue pattern, which is really, really in right now. The size on this was 36S, which is like an extra, extra small men's, probably like for a kid or something, right? So even that bad size, 36S, not really a bad size, but a small size, which a lot of people shy away from. Pattern on this one. Bonobos, $119.99. I got an offer within a couple of hours of me listing this. Somebody offered me $70. I countered at $99.99 and they declined and they walked away. And then, the next day somebody came in and said, I'll buy that for $119.99. So there you go. I would have sold it for been happy to sell it for $99.99. I paid freaking $10 for it. So my profit on this is going to be about $90 off the top of my head. They paid $12.95 shipping for this suit, and the shipping label is going to cost me $6.45. It's going to Chicago. Going at Tyson. Thank you, Tyson. Sale of the weekend right there. But don't worry, we got some other really good sales coming your way. We still got Poshmark to do. We still got Amazon to do. We still got coffee to ship. We'll ship coffee after this. So really, really awesome sale here. Such good advice. I love your content. Thanks for the other names too. You're very welcome. And if you didn't catch those names, I'm happy to repeat them. Just let me know. Awesome, awesome sale. Let's go. Those ones are sweet. I don't get too many like used items that sell for $120. So when this happens, it's sweet, And that's why like you sell a lot of these like items that are $10, $12, $14, $15 profits. That's great, right? That fills up the cart. But what I really want is those home run items. And that's what I'm looking for. But while I'm there, I might as well throw these $10 items in the cart and make money off those. Those all add up too. But that's like a $90 profit on that one piece. So is my math right there? Yeah, it's about $90 profit on that, which is pretty awesome. Next up is an order for Stuart. Here's another like kind of bread and butter, just fills up the cart kind of piece, but these add up. You see how many of these I ship out. This is just sales from the last 2 days. It's 48 hours worth of sales. And we got like 30 something of them, 33, I think. Vineyard Vines Performance. I don't pick up a lot of the Vineyard Vines, like regular cotton. Sometimes they're a cotton spandex blend. I don't really pick those up anymore. But Vineyard Vines Performance, I'll still pick these up. This sold on the best offer of $17 plus $6.95 shipping. This is like that polyester spandex blend. It's a golf polo. It's like a techie polo with a nice pattern. I think it's got the whale. No, Vineyard Vines is not the whale. Vineyard Vines is a whale, or is it the skipjack? I always forget. Yeah, it's the whale. It's the whale. So not huge profit there, $10, but it filled up my cart. Might have been the same day I picked up that Bonobos $120 suit. I don't know. I already paid for the gas. I already paid for the mileage to get there. I already spent the time going through all the racks. Might as well throw those $10 items in there and make some money off them. That's the way I see it. But I got to do it. I'm full time. I got to load up. I got to sell all this stuff. I got to pay the bills. So this is going to Stuart. Stuart's in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, not too far from here. Next, here's another great sale. The little ones add up, and then these ones kind of push you over the top. I just did a video on this piece. This sold in 3 hours. I listed it yesterday. It sold yesterday. we were at our friend Kate's birthday party at Highland Brewing yesterday, and I got the notification that this sold. I was like, man, I just listed that right before we left the house. So Ibex, 100% merino wool. This is like a full zip kind of sweater slash jacket slash midwear. Sold for a best offer 50. This is an auto offer. Sold for $54 on eBay. $54 for this Ibex right there. So that's a women's size extra large. I paid $5 at the thrift store for this piece. 5 into 54. It's a great margin right there. That's going to be, let's see, 45. Probably made $40 on this piece. It's going to Silverthorne, Colorado. We rented a ski house. I was just telling this story yesterday to somebody. We rented a ski house in the winter of 2018, 2019 with 9 other people. We split was it a 2-bedroom? It was a 3-bedroom house. And it was 11 of us total, including Kim and I. And that was in Silverthorne, Colorado. So I know Silverthorne very well. In fact, I know the exact road that this is. I'm not going to say it, but I know the road that this is being delivered to. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. This is going to Allison. Thank you, Allison, in Silverthorne. Silverthorne's like an hour and 20 minutes from Denver. It's up near Breckenridge. It's in what they call Summit County, if you care. That's awesome. Good afternoon, Carolyn. She's a good one to watch. Hustle at Home, Mom. We are so fortunate to have the technology we have, and also lucky to have resellers like you that share the knowledge. Thank you, Sophia. Yeah, big fan of Hustle at Home, Mom. She seems like a really I've never met her before. She follows my videos too, which is kind of cool, right? If you think about it, like when I'm getting started back in 2018, 2019, like I am studying her channel and looking up to Hustle at Home Mom. And now she follows me and likes and comments on some of my videos, which is kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. And that's like, you hear Kway say it all the time. Like Wayne says, look, anybody can do this stuff, right? And I think a lot of people, look at some of us and they're like, man, that guy sells so much, or that girl sells so much. And how did they get there? It's like, well, they just put in the work. They did the research and put in the work. This is a brand I don't pick up a ton of. The brand is called Fish Hippie. It's actually a local North Carolina brand. It's headquartered in Mount Airy, North Carolina, if you care. This one sold for $18. It's a cotton polo shirt. It's like a cotton stretch. It's got a little spandex to it. This Fish Hippie, I do pick up this brand if it's more of like a gear piece, if that makes sense. Like if it's a fishing piece, like it's a shirt that you would wear to go fish or go on a boat. Those sell better than just like a cotton shirt in that brand. So I paid $5 for this. It sold for a best offer at $18 plus $6.95 shipping. I don't pick up everything from this brand. And this is not something I typically pick up. It was just a nice pattern note, and it was a size extra large, so I grabbed it. But it's the stuff you would actually wear fishing is going to do well in this brand, by and large. If you can get it cheap, sure. If you can get them for $3 or $4, I think it's worth getting just about anything. But it doesn't sell very fast for me. I just don't think a lot of people know the brand. But North Carolina people know this brand. Where's it going to? It's going to Georgia. It's going to Michael. Your rack with bags and hats on it. Do you have that link somewhere? Yep. Francis, there's a document. I'll put it in the chat right now, so it's just really easy for you to get to. I put together a document with literally, I think it's everything that we use for our business. I spent hours putting this together a couple weeks ago. And that is in a section at the very bottom. That section is called Copy My Office Setup. It might be there, or it might be in the storage area. I forget. But that's where that shoe rack is. A shoe rack. And you'll find it in there. Rachel, bags and hats. Got you, Francis. What did I miss? Do you ever refund any amount if people overpay on shipping? Can it hurt you if you don't? I don't. I don't. If somebody bought something and they paid $7.95 shipping and it only cost me $6.95 to ship it, to me, my cost is irrelevant. We had a deal on an item for, $20 and $7.95 shipping. We agreed to that deal, right? So the total price being $27.95. Just because my shipping was ended up being $1 cheaper, I don't feel any obligation to give that person $1 back, right? Because if I reach out to that, if the same thing happens and my shipping is a little bit more, they paid $7.95 and I'm like, oh, it's $8.95. I'm not going to hit that person up and be like, hey, you owe me an extra $1, right? That's, we made a deal, right? And so I would say I'll leave it at that. I should put compliments up on the screen. Thank you, Meredith. That's really kind too. Really kind. All right, let's keep moving. We still got a lot to ship, and some really good stuff coming. So this fish hippie went out the door, $18, $6.95. Did I put the thank you card in there? I did. Thank you to Michael. Michael's in Guyton, Georgia. Next up, we're going to New Jersey with another Bonobos piece. Another nice one, too. Thank you, Michael. Let's see. So this is a pair of linen pants from Bonobos. I pick up a lot of Bonobos pants, but linen ones are got to be worth more and have a better sell-through rate. These sold for a best offer of $28 plus $8.95 shipping. So flyers all in for what? $35. Is my math right there? No, $37. $37 on these altogether. The shipping label is going to cost me $6.07 on this. This is wool from, so like we talked about with that Bonobos suit, where was the Marzotto wool. This Bonobos, the wool is from, I'm going to read this, I'm going to say it probably wrong. It's an Italian name. Tessuti di Sondrio, which is another Italian wool maker. So on their higher end stuff, a lot of these brands, Bonobos, J. Crew, we got a great J. Crew example, Brooks Brothers, Suit Supply, all these brands, they'll buy the wool from these high-end wool makers for their nicer suits. So this linen came from Tessuti di Sondrio, which is a famous linen mill in Italy. Sorry, I said wool before, but you know what I mean. So $28 on this, plus $8.95 shipping, and these are going to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've never been to Pittsburgh. I've been to Pennsylvania. I've never been to the western part of the state. I'm sorry. These are going to Edgewater, New Jersey. Next one's Pittsburgh. Edgewater, New Jersey. All right. So this is going to Yishe. I think that's the name. Yishe. The size on this was 34 by 37, which is that's a tall son of a gun right there. And who knows, the person could be buying this 34 by 37 and they full well know that they're going to get them tailored down to 34 or something like that. Or they just might be a real tall son of a gun. Who knows? Who knows? How do you look up items, Google Lens? I look them up on eBay. So with this item, this Bonobos, I just looked up Bonobos linen pants on eBay. And I filtered it for sold so I could see sold listings, like completed sales, instead of currently listed. And I look at what those sale prices are and get like a general average sale price. And then I calculate the sell-through rate by dividing the number of items that are listed, or divide the number of items that have sold over the last 90 days on eBay. I take that number on the top, divide that by the number currently listed on eBay. And that gives me, and I multiply that by 100, that gives me a sell-through rate. And with those two numbers, I can make and of course, knowing what the cost is at the thrift store and what season it is, I can make an informed decision on it if it's a good purchase or not. Next one's going to Paul, another really good sale right here. Boy, two blazers and a suit going out the door today. I love that. Higher margin items, blazers and suits for me. There we go. Brooks Brothers. This is the Explorer is the model. The fit is Regent on this. This is a wool blend. A very modern Brooks Brothers piece right here. Sold for full asking price, $39.99. I paid $7 for this at a thrift store. $7. $7. This is going to go in one of my bigger shipping bags. This one, I think I have these linked in my in that recommended reseller supplies too. I believe that's a 14.5 by 19 bag is what the size is there. This is going to Paul. Paul is in Pittsburgh. So the profit on this one is going to be about 32, 33, 27, probably like $26 profit on this. So I paid $7 after shipping, fees, all the stuff. I think about $26. Is Regent better in Brooks Brothers shirt too? It's not really, it's just a fit. It's just a fit. So Regent is like a slightly slimmer cut. If you look at the Brooks Brothers website, you can look at all the different cuts that they have. It's a slightly slim fit, I think is what they call it. But people know that. Like people who buy Brooks Brothers, they have them in their closet already. They know that they like the Regent fit, or they know that they like the Madison fit. They're not necessarily more expensive. It's just you can buy the same jacket. You can buy it in the Regent fit. You can buy it in the Madison fit. I'm trying to think. There's another fit called Milano fit, which I think is really slim fit, like extra slim or something like that. But yeah, you can buy a lot of their stuff and the same thing with shirts. You can just buy them in their different fits. So you can buy a Brooks Brothers 37.5 by 37.5 by 35 shirt, and you can buy it in the Regent, you can buy it in the Madison, you can buy it in the Milano. You get it. And I'm probably forgetting some of the other fits. But next up is a Gymshark. I picked up 3 of these at a thrift store. They were all size medium. I paid $5 a piece for them. This is the second one to sell. This one sold for full asking price, $21.99. Nice modern pattern on this one too, and it's got the logo on the front there too. And it had like a spell out logo vertically on the back, like between the shoulders too. People like that stuff, you know. They want you to know that they're wearing Gymshark or whatever brand is, you know. So spell outs, embroideries, generally speaking, help things out. And this has a kind of like a cool textured pattern to it too. Let's go to Christian. Christian's in Ann Arbor, Michigan, another state I've never set foot in before. Thank you, Christian. So 5 into 22 plus $6.95 shipping on this. I'll probably make like $14. Made about $1.50, maybe $15 because they paid $6.95 shipping, and it only cost me $4.52 to ship that one. Next up is a Brooks Brothers Performance. This is a good in-season special. These Brooks Brothers polos, I like picking up this time of year because polos sell well. But I do pick up the cotton ones. A lot of other resellers won't pick those up, but I can get them for $5 all day and flip them, so I'll do it. This is a Brooks Brothers Performance, so this is like 100% polyester on this one. So this is more desirable than the cotton ones. It does have the logo on the chest, which is key. And this one has a nice little stripy pattern too. So for $18.99 plus, this is a best offer, $18.99 plus $6.95 shipping. Probably made about $10 on this one, maybe 11. This is going to Jose. Jose's in Miami. I think this one's actually going overseas based on the address. I think this is going to a freight forwarder. So somebody internationally is purchasing this product, or somebody is purchasing it for somebody internationally. So it's going to go through Miami and go overseas. That's would be my my best guess based on that address. If I looked up that address, I think I would find that it's very close to the airport. And that would be, actually, I'll look up the address. Let's do it. I'm not going to show you the address, obviously, but I get a lot of sales to Miami. And that's part of the reason is a lot of those are going overseas. Yep, it's a freight company's address, and it means it's probably near the airport. Yep, it's in Durrell. So 2 addresses that oftentimes, like, it'll be a Miami address or it'll be Durrell. And I'm like, why are all these people in Durrell buying all this stuff? It's because it's not going to somebody in Miami or going to somebody in Durrell. It's going to a freight forwarder, and that's going overseas. And I don't care. I get paid either way, so it makes no difference to me. I'm just happy that Jose has got a shirt coming his way. Next sale is one of the best sales of the weekend. Quick flipperoo here. Some of you will know exactly what brand this is just from being this far away. I'll give you a second to drop it down below in the chat. Some of you will know this one. Really good sale, $79.99. This is going to Ann. I'll show you in a minute. This is going to Ann. Some of you will know it. I'm going to tell you how long this one took to sell. I just did a video on this one. Let's see. So where'd it go? There it is. Took 6 days to sell. 6 days to sell. I paid $5 and it sold for, what did I say it sold for? $79.99. Full asking price on this one. Full asking. Yes, but how do you find the exact item? Thank you. With clothing, you're probably not going to find the exact item in most cases. Yeah, because most clothing doesn't really have like a specific sort of model. And often, they change every year, and sometimes they change like spring to fall. So you're probably not going to find the exact same piece all the time. Sometimes you will, especially if you're like buying new with tag stuff. But you could be buying a model that's 7 years old, or 9 years old, or 13 years old. It's going to be hard to pin down that model name on most items. Just ordered the $100 lights you listed. Awesome, Francis. Upgrading your lighting is, especially in like a young reseller business, upgrading your lighting is probably the best thing that you can do, because by upgrading your lighting, you're going to upgrade your photos, and by upgrading your photos, you're going to increase your sales. There's just no way around it. So I think that's a really smart $100 investment. I was thinking about this over the weekend because people ask me questions like this. Somebody was asking about photo. Like we went to a birthday party yesterday, and people ask about my business sometime, and I tell them, and then they're like, well, tell me more about that. And then tell me more about this and that. And somehow got talking about lights. And I was like, listen, I think people should, if a lot of people don't want to invest money into their business. But I'd say when you get $200 worth of profit, I think you should do two things with that $200. I think you should use 100 to buy more inventory. And then I think you should use the other $100 to buy some photo lights. So once you make your first $200 in profit, buy some photo lights, buy another $100 worth of stuff to sell it. Because the thing of it is, your business will grow faster if you get sales quicker and you get more frequent sales. It'll give you more money to go out and buy more stuff, and you'll get more feedback. That's the important thing. Like early on, you need to like go through the process of buying stuff, going through the process of listing, and then having it, getting offers, and then finally closing a deal, and then shipping that item. Like you need to like go through that process. That's like the best learning process. You can watch videos all day and all night, and that really helps. But the best learning is taking these items home and bringing them through their course, and then getting them back out the door and getting more money so you can do it all over again. So by improving your photos, you're going to go through that cycle a lot quicker with a lot of items, and you're going to get a lot of feedback. There's going to be a lot of learning, and there's going to be a lot of dollars coming in and out the door. You're welcome. Thank you, the talented Mr. Welcome in. Just got an order on Amazon. Sweet pair of Hagar pants. Nobody guessed this one. Johnny Was is the brand here. Johnny Was. I don't sell a ton of women's items, but I found this off a fresh rack at a thrift store. I don't like grind through like the women's tops aisle. It's just not something I really do. I'll go through sweaters. I'll go through jackets. But I don't grind through like shirts and jeans and stuff like that. I just don't. But on the fresh racks, I'll find women's clothing, and also on the men's, on men's racks, I find women's items all the time too. Great pickup here, $5, $79.99. It took only 6 days to sell. I priced towards the top of the market too. The women's size, large, going to Ann in Fairfax, Virginia. Thanks everyone for being here. I appreciate it. That's a nice compliment. It's a nice compliment. I appreciate that. Edgewater's 45 to 50 minutes from me, overlooks New York City. Nice area. Okay, cool. I thought the town name sounded familiar. I just couldn't remember it. I haven't spent a lot of time in the Northeast in recent years, although spent 31 years in New Hampshire and, traveling around New England and stuff, but it's been a long time. We've been in the South a long time, and Colorado and Florida. Next up is a Charles Tyrrell. This is the last eBay, but don't worry. We got Poshmark. We got Amazon. We got coffee to ship. This brand, I pick up this brand. A lot of people don't pick up this brand. I'm selective in this brand, but the brand is Charles Tyrrell. It's a British brand. That's how you pronounce it, Charles Tyrrell. And they're known for like formal wear, Charles Tyrrell. And it actually says, you can look, it says German Street, London, right there. So a lot of this stuff is really expensive, brand new. Charles Tyrrell doesn't have a really great resale value for used typically. But this one is most of what I find is button down long sleeve shirts. I'll pick up big sizes. I'll pick up really nice patterns. If they're really crispy dress shirts, I'll grab them. White does really well. I'll pick up white, like solid white Charles Tyrwhitt dress shirts. But this is a polo shirt, and it is a long sleeve polo shirt. So I priced this one at $25, and I took a best offer at $22. Sometimes these polo shirts sell better than the dress shirts in these formal wear brands, which is interesting. Anyway, I mean, I sold a Brooks Brothers one today too. So $22 on this Charles Tyrwhitt. I don't pick up all the stuff from that brand, but the polo shirts do pretty good. There's a pretty good sell-through rate on the polo shirts. And typically long sleeve polo shirts tend to have higher sell-through rates, and they sell for a couple extra bucks in a lot of cases too than their short sleeve siblings. So that's not always true, but I find that to be true a lot of the time. You always find examples where when you make generalizations, you'll be wrong a lot of the time, but that's oftentimes true with polo shirts. That the long sleeve ones, there's just not as much supply of them, you know? So it tends to be a better sell-through rate. And as a result, sometimes a couple extra bucks on the sale price. This is going to Seattle, Washington, clear across the country, $5.80 to ship this from Asheville, North Carolina, all the way to Seattle. $5.80. That's going at a 12-ounce rate. USPS Ground Advantage. I got a coffee order going out the door, and I want to get that one out, and then we'll jump back into some clothing. So Julie put in an order at chris@peak.com to get some coffee. I'll go ahead and drop the link down below if you want to learn more about our coffee. You can check it out at this link that's in the description of the video. It's also right there in the chat. And all our coffee is fair trade. It's organic. And it's roasted fresh every Thursday. So this coffee was roasted this past Thursday. It doesn't get any fresher than that. This is a Hooper's Creek medium roast. If you haven't tried our coffee before, I encourage you to try this coffee. It is a crowd pleaser. It won't offend anybody. It's right down the middle, very balanced medium roast cup of coffee. And as a bonus, $1.50 from every one of these bags sold of our medium roast goes right down the street. It's donated to families that were severely impacted by Hurricane Helene as we continue to rebuild in our neighborhood. So thank you for this. It's a way for us to give back. It's also a way for us to drink delicious, delicious coffee. Little taste of the mountains going out to Julie. Thank you, Julie. Appreciate everybody who supported our coffee business. It is a lot of fun. I had a medium roast I had the dark roast this morning, which was cold brew. Kim and I have been doing cold brews lately. Not iced coffee, but the actual cold brew, like brew it cold. And we're freaking digging it. This medium roast is our favorite coffee in the world. That's why we sell it. And that's why it's like such an honor for us to sell this coffee. And I'm so excited about it because it's literally like, this is the coffee that Kim and I drank every morning. And we're like, man, it's just like, it's so freaking good. This medium roast. And now it's from Chiapas, Mexico is where the beans are from. And it's roasted in Black Mountain, North Carolina, about 30 minutes from here by our friends at Dynamite Roasting. And so it's just so cool that we get a chance to sell this coffee, the same one that we love, with our brand on it. It's really awesome. And literally, I'm not making this up. This is our favorite coffee. Shouldn't show the address. Our favorite coffee in the world. And I get a chance to freaking sell that. Like, how cool is that? You know, if you have any questions about the coffee, let me know. Happy to answer them. And I dropped the link right there. If you want to get yourself a bag or two and you order it right now during the live, we'll ship it out during the live with a big dose of gratitude. But thank you to Julie for your coffee order. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. It's fun shipping coffee to all y'all. Love New Hampshire. Me too. I haven't been up there in a long time. How are you, Shannon? What do we got here? Golf polos are going fast for me right now. Sold on a few FootJoy, Peter Millar, and Nike. Not a ton of money made on each, but sell 10 for $10 profit. It's $100. It's the way I think about it, Jessica, too. And then you throw a couple of high-end sales in there, too, that were in your cart. And now you got yourself a nice little weekend. But I love that, Jessica. Getting those polos going. It's right now hiking clothes, like outdoorsy hiking, fishing types of clothes, and golf stuff is the stuff that's selling the best for me right now, for sure. We're on the same page there. All right, let's dig into some Poshmark orders. We still got Amazon to do too. And let's go. All right, let's see. Poshmark is here. 3 orders on Poshmark. Kind of a soft last couple days. Ooh, I just had an order come in on Poshmark too, but I'll save that one I'll ship that one tomorrow. So 3 orders going out the door on Posh. That's a slow weekend on Posh. Typically, I'd expect like 6 or 7 Poshmark sales. That would be like a better weekend, but eBay was freaking slamming, so we'll take it. It is what it is. This is going out to Julie. This is a pair. This is an in-season special right here. I actually really like picking these up. It's a good seller for me, particularly this time of year. I told you hiking, fishing, golf clothing is really hot right now. It's a pair of hiking pants from Columbia. Columbia PFG performance hiking pants. Nice navy blue color, men's size large. $21. Full asking. Best offer on this. Best offer, $21 on that piece right there. These sell for me between like $20 and $25, and this time of year they sell really, really fast. So don't sleep on Columbia. If you pick the right items in the right season from Columbia, they can sell. You know, I'm not gonna get rich off this, but you know, I'll make $12, right? $13, something like that. 7. Yeah, make $12 off it. Remember, Poshmark fees are 20%. So this sold for $21. So my fees on this were $4.20 exactly. It's really easy to calculate those Poshmark fees because it's just on the sale price. It doesn't include the tax that the buyer paid. It doesn't include the shipping price on top of that. It's just on the sale price. So it's a lot easier to calculate. It's going out to Julie. Julie's in Houston, Texas, getting her some hiking pants. Next up is a pair of Judy Blues. This is a skinnier model. Slim fit tapered legs, so not as hot right now from Judy Blue. These sold for a best offer of $20. This is actually an auto offer that Nifty sent out on these. So these were listed for $22, and then Nifty came in with that auto offer at $20. The buyer accepted, sold. And these actually sold overnight last night while I was sleeping. And that's the beauty of having a cross-listing and automation tool like Nifty. It's literally closing deals for me while I sleep. And of course, it delisted the item. I had it listed on Mercari and eBay too. As soon as it got that sale, it delisted the item too. So I don't have to worry about a double sale, the dreaded double sale. I dropped the link for a free trial for Nifty down below in the chat right there. You can also find that link in the description of this video or at chris@peak.com. With that link, you get a free trial. You also get 15% off your first month if you decide after the trial that you liked it and you want to keep things rolling, which I think you will. But anyway, it is a free trial. That link is right there. It's in the chat. It's in the description. Check out Nifty. It's one of my not so secret weapons of why I get good, consistent sales. You got to have in-demand items. You got to have good photos of those items. You got to describe them well. You still have to put in the work. Good keywords, all that stuff. But then the automation, having Nifty to cross-list an item really quickly from eBay to also to Mercari and Poshmark gives you a bigger audience that can buy your items. And then you have auto offers getting sent out. It's doing all that social stuff on Poshmark that nobody wants to do. It automatically does all those shares and all that. So you show up higher in search results. It's delisting and relisting items constantly so that my items show up higher in searches on eBay, on Poshmark, on Mercari. And of course, when something sells, it just automatically takes it down from the other platforms. I don't have to leave my computer on like some of the competitors. I don't have to leave an app on or anything. It just does it behind the scenes automatically. It's like having a freaking employee working for me. This order is going out to Susan on these Judy Blues. There's still people wearing them skinny jeans. They don't sell as well as the baggy stuff. Everyone wants the baggy stuff. They want the wide leg. They want the Y2K look, the 90s look. We used to call them skater jeans back in my high school days in the 90s. That's where all the skaters wore the Jenkos and the big baggy wide leg stuff. Everybody wore baggy wide leg stuff, but like the crazy wide leg was like the skater stuff. Anyway, we got more Poshmark orders, lights, and then a thermal printer. Yeah. For me, no more paper and ink. Sophia, yeah. For me, the lights are like 10 times more important than the thermal printer, in my opinion, because the thermal printer won't make you additional money. It'll just save you some time, and it'll save you money. Like you said, you don't have to use ink anymore, right? You don't have to like tape on labels, which tape costs money too. The labels are like, what are they, like 3 cents a piece or something like that, and it saves you time. But The lights will make you more money, and it will probably save you time too, and you'll find like stains and stuff a lot easier. But the lights will make you money because your photos will be better. So that's why I always encourage people to do lights first at all costs. Printing, figure out printing, print where you got to print at work if you have to. I printed my labels early on at work, then I printed them off an inkjet, and then I finally got a thermal label printer. I did all the math and I calculated how much I was using in tape for every label. I calculated how much I was using uh, for printing off the labels every time, like the paper. And then I calculated how much ink I was using on each label. And I figured out like what the break even point. I don't remember what that was. I mean, this was in 2000 and I think I bought that in 2019. So my first thermal label printer. And so I don't remember the exact calculations, but I figured out an exact break even point because I'm like, if I'm going to invest in this small business that I don't know is ever really going to take off, it's just a side hustle. If I'm going to invest, I need to know that they're like what the break even point, how many items do I have to sell for this printer to pay for itself? And I worked that all out and I was like, cool, I'm going to buy it. And I'm really glad that I did. I wish I didn't like wait as long as I did, but I didn't know. It was just a part-time thing. It was a side hustle at the time. And do I really want to invest a lot of money in something that I might put down? Because life happens. When you have a side hustle, it's not easy to stay consistent with it. You got a lot of other things that are competing for your time in life. So I didn't want to invest the money. I definitely didn't invest in photo lights soon enough. And that hurt my sales. It hurt my sales. And I remember looking back at some of my older photos when things would sell, like that sat in my inventory for a long time from my early day photos without photo lights. I was like, oh man, what was I thinking? What's that photo, but everybody has their beginnings. I had mine too, but get some photo lights, get some good, what I'm talking about is these. There's different ways you can get them, or different forms of it, but box lights like that, because the front here diffuses, gives you a nice flat light instead of like a glary light. It gives you a nice like even no shadow light. Get a kit like that. There's linked in my profile. They're linked in that document, the reseller shopping list there for you. Recommended reseller supplies. That's those exact lights right there. I also linked another set that's like a LED panel, which does the same thing. It's a little bit more money, but if you're in a tighter space and you don't want to have like those box lights, then that might be a good option for those LED panel lights. They're a little bit more money, but I can't with baggy jeans. I wear skinny and don't care if they aren't in style. I hear you, Desert Rain. I wore baggy jeans because I'm a product. Like I went to high school in the 90s and was in college, like Y2K. I graduated college in 2004. So all those years where everything was baggy, they say like that's the music that you listen to the rest of your life, the stuff you listen to in high school and in college and like those years, the 16 through 24. They say that's the music that you listen to your entire life. And that's like the style that you kind of resonate with the rest of your life. It took me a long time to shake off baggy jeans. I was wearing baggy jeans and baggy pants. I wanted everything baggy. Shorts down past it. Like I hate wearing shorts that are short. Like these people with their 7-inch inseam or 6-inch inseam shorts, I can't do it. I need an 11-inch inseam short. I cannot shake that still. I shut the baggy jeans a little bit. I don't like tight jeans. I can't even get tight jeans on. Like skinny jeans, I've tried like in the store, I've tried them on before. I can't even get like my calf like into skinny jeans. I'm like, I don't know how these people wear these. And I'm not even exaggerating. I'll try to pull on the skinny jean. I just can't get it on my leg. I also got like I got like fat legs. I got fat thighs, and like that's where my weight is in my thighs and my butt for whatever. I don't know what we're talking about, but I can't get into skinny jeans. But these baggy ones, the real baggy ones coming back, I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I like kind of like a middle of the road. If you really want to know, I wear the Levi's 541 athletic taper. I like those ones, the 541, because they kind of taper down at the bottom, but they still got some room up in the top. The 541s, I like those ones. But I used to like more like the 559s. Is that the 559s is what I like used to wear like back in the day. What's up, Big Trot? Not that you guys care about any of that stuff, but you're still here. Used your link last week to buy it, liking it so far. What'd you buy, Shannon? Sorry, let me put this together. Did you buy the printer? Something shiny went by. We were talking about skinny jeans and I got lost. What'd you buy? Oh, I'm glad you like what you bought though. That's cool. Thanks for when you buy something through those links, those Amazon links, it gives me a between a 2 and a 4% kickback. You get the same low price on Amazon, but they kick back like 2 to 4% for me for recommending those products and getting people to buy. They're making the big money, Amazon. They're just giving me some pennies, but it does help. It does add up. But as you know, I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't use it or believe in it or trust it. I still do baggy, no skinny jeans or chick shorts. Yeah, I like the term chick shorts. Yeah, that I would call those like women. I'm like, why is that dude wearing like women's shorts like that? Like, what happened? Does he realize that he was in his sister's closet? Nifty. Okay, great, Shannon. I'm glad that you're liking the nifty. It is a giant, not so secret weapon for my business. I mean, you hear me talk about it in these lives all the time because it's sending out all these auto offers and stuff. It's like integrated into my business, and it gives me a terrific advantage. One of the best sales of the weekend, I'd call maybe the second best sale. I don't know. This sold for $81. I'm going to show this one too. It's already folded up and stuff, but I want to know who would have just walked right by this blazer. Not to shame you, but obviously I like that y'all are learning. So this blazer is J. Crew. But you can see right there, it's called the Ludlow jacket. You can see the word Ludlow in cursive down below. It's a size 40R. It's a really modern style, like that thin lapel right there. Just a flat navy, solid color, 100% wool piece. So I pick up these Ludlows. It's a good seller. And then this one's got the Loro Piana fabric, which is the most desirable wool. This is like the wool maker. There's other like really good wool makers too, but this is the one. If you find Loro Piana fabric, even in a mediocre brand, it sells really well. If it's a really crappy brand, like I find like Daniel Cremo Loro Piana, and there's like no sales history for that. I don't pick that up, but a lot of like kind of mediocre brand blazers, if it's got Loro Piana fabric, that means it's got really high-end fabric. People know that wool maker from Italy. They look for it. It's sought after. And that means that jacket, if J. Crew buys Loro Piana fabric, you know that piece, they're using good materials, but they're also going to it's got to have like good sewing, or, it's got to have good quality. It's got to be put together well because they're paying a lot of money for that fabric. It's their high-end stuff. So the J. Crew Ludlow is always a pickup for me. And it's like an extra pickup when you get the Loro Piana. This sold for $81. I'll tell you how long it took to sell. Great piece. Awesome. This is why I dig through the blazers and I bring home blazers that sell for $35 or $40 or $45, because every now and again you come across one like this when it's a quick seller and it's $81. So I paid $7 for the blazer, by the way. This was at a thrift store. Took 33 days to sell, and a best offer, $81. That was actually a nifty offer. So somebody came in, liked this item on Poshmark. And by somebody, I mean Jay, liked this item on Poshmark. 10 minutes later, Nifty sent a 10% offer automatically. And the buyer was like, who otherwise might not have purchased, just kind of went on with their day or bought something different from somebody else. The buyer, Jay, picked it up. And that makes me very happy. $81. A sale that I wouldn't have had more than likely if I didn't have Nifty. So there you have it. So this was listed for $90 on Poshmark, and that 10% offer was $81. And I paid $7. So the profit on this piece, so my fees, Poshmark has 20% fees. So $81, that means it's $16.20 was my fees. So after 81, let's just use the calculator for this one. 81 minus 16.2 equals, so $64.80 is what I'm left with after the Poshmark fees. And then if I subtract my cost of goods, which is $7, I made $57.80 on this one piece here. It took 33 days to sell. And I'm going to use a free box from USPS.com for this, because why not? Gets the extra protection of the box. It's going USPS priority because it's Poshmark. Everything goes priority. So that means I can use any of these free USPS priority packaging. So I wouldn't put this in a box if it sold on eBay, because I would ship it ground advantage, and I don't get free boxes for that. I'd have to pay like $1 for a box or something, for like 60 cents or something. But since this box is free, and my shipping supplies cost money. Why not use the free box instead of a bag that, that cost me money? Just going to size this box down a little bit. This is probably an extra step that I really don't need to take, but whatever. Didn't take me long. I'm curious who would have picked up that J. Crew blazer. I know some of you are skipping the blazer section altogether. Don't forget the thank you card. Thank you, Jay. So just from this weekend, the last 2 days sales, those are 2 blazers and a suit. And altogether, that was, let's see, the suit was $120, that blazer was $81. So that's $200 plus another $40 Brooks Brothers blazer. That's $240 in sales for 3 items that I spent a total of $24 for. And you're not going through the blazer section? I used to ignore the blazers too. Then in January of 2021, I said, look, I need to learn a new category. I can't skip an entire aisle anymore. I want to learn a new category. And I decided that I was going to learn suits and blazers because I know that stuff sells for good money because I can look it up on eBay and see it. So I decided I was going to learn it. So I just started digging through blazers and looking them up as I was at the thrift store. And then buying them, taking them home, seeing what I got for offers, seeing how long they took to sell. And I just started building up all this knowledge. January 2021, what is it? It's 2025. That was 4 years ago. It's kind of crazy, but I remember it was a brand new, intimidating category, and I just dug into it. Just like anyone, I didn't really know much about formal wear. I knew stuff about outdoor brands. I knew stuff because that was the world I lived in: hiking, skiing, climbing, that sort of thing. I knew about those brands. I learned about golf brands. I didn't know much, but I knew a little, and I learned about shoes and running shoes. I learned all these brands I never heard of before, like Ultra and Hoka and all that stuff, On Clouds. I learned all that stuff. But the blazer section, suits, I just wanted nothing to do with it. It was intimidating. I didn't know how to measure it. I didn't know what I was looking for. I was scared. What if it doesn't have a size tag? Didn't really know about the materials. I just started doing it and I learned it. And now I know a ton about that category, and I sell a ton of suits and blazers just this weekend alone. What did I say? $240 in sales just from that category, just on 3 pieces, 3 big, $40 sale, an $81 sale, and a $120 sale. 3 of my 5 best sales from the weekend came from that category. That's what people want, right? You want the big dollar stuff. You're going to find that in the suits and blazers section. And I'm going to do my best to show you how. I found a Suit Supply one. That's one of my favorite ones to find. Honestly, Suit Supply is awesome. The orange, I'm always go right to the blazers. Just sold a suit this weekend in Nice Desert. What you sell for a suit? I'm curious. Now I want to know. Yes, I said lights first, then I'm with you. But to me, it's like lights first, Sophia, and then like thermal printer sometime down the road. Lights help you make money. The printer just saves you time. But we're on the same page. But I just think lights are so much more important than the printer. But I like the printer. I have 3 of those printers. At my Goodwill, I look at suits and blazers for $1 on Sundays. Certain color tags are $1 on Sundays. That's awesome. I wish my Goodwills did like $1 a day. I would like crush some suits and blazers. I'd buy a whole bunch of Joseph A. Banks at that price at $1. Are you kidding me? Sell those just really fast for $25 to $30, especially if you find the good ones. They go through the blazers, but not as familiar. Time to study for me. Just put in your time, man. It's like anybody that you see that does big sales, and they're on social media and they're talking about it. Those people, they didn't just like know all this stuff. They weren't born knowing clothing and all that stuff. They freaking put in their time, especially like some of those people like Ready, Set, Resell, which I mentioned earlier, and Hustle at Home Mom. They put in their freaking time. That's why they know their stuff. That's why they get good sales. They just know more than other folks do. What did I miss? If I missed something, just let me know. Just drop it down below in the chat. I don't mean to miss you, but sometimes I just do. Next up, we got 2 Amazon sales. Both of them are Lee. I had some other Amazon sales over the weekend too, but those were Amazon FBA, which means those are items I sent into Amazon. Amazon's fulfilling those orders. They do all the shipping and stuff. I don't have to worry about it. But these are FBM, which means fulfilled by merchant, which means I'm going to ship these ones. So this first one is a pair of Lee Extreme Motion jeans, size 36 by 36. This is a tall bro. And this sold for $48.97. I paid $17 for this pair. This is on retail clearance that I picked this one up. So Lee, I sell a lot of Lee and Wrangler on Amazon. On Amazon, what sells better are those really common brands. It's not so much like the high-end stuff that sells on Amazon. It's the stuff that everybody knows. It's the Under Armours, it's the Adidas, it's Lee, it's Wrangler, it's Levi's, Chaps, Hagar, trying to think, Savane, like stuff like that. Like really, really common stuff that most people in the country wear. That's the stuff that sells really good on Amazon. Whereas on eBay, those things don't sell very well. The stuff that sells very well is the more high-end stuff. It's just interesting. I don't know if I have a good explanation for it. So, I mean, these Lee jeans sold for more than Judy Blues that I shipped. I sold Judy, of course, these are new, but Carhartts. I had $33 Carhartts or $34 Carhartts on eBay, brand new with tags that I shipped out today. And these Lee sold for $48. Just kind of interesting. This is going to Linda in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. Thank you, Linda. That's going UPS. So I'm going to put that out there so I don't accidentally put it in my freaking USPS bin like I do all the freaking time. Another pair of Lee jeans. These ones sold for $47.98. These are going to Bob. These are what are these ones? These are just a regular relaxed fit straight Lee jeans, brand new with tags. I paid $12 for these and they sold for $47.98. Amazon is my, depending on the month, it's either my second or third best platform. It kind of goes back and forth. It's either eBay is always number one. Poshmark is oftentimes number two, but as I've gotten into Amazon, sometimes Amazon is number two. I don't know where we're tracking this month. I'll take a peek at it for a second. Do you ever source online? I do. Let me bring this up. Operation Side Hustle. I like your screen name here. I've been limited for time lately, but have been having luck via Facebook Marketplace and such. You know, I'll be honest. I don't source on Facebook Marketplace. I should. I just don't. I honestly don't like. I just don't like Facebook Marketplace. I just don't. It drives me crazy. But I think it's a really good idea. And sometimes it's like, what do they say? Like, do as I say, not as I do. There's money to be made on Facebook Marketplace, for sure. And I just really, the thrifts have been popping off for me lately. Before that, retail arbitrage was popping off for a few months. So I just go with like whatever the hot hand is. And, if things were really slow on those two things, I would probably spend some more time doing Facebook Marketplace. But I also do online arbitrage, which I haven't been doing a lot of lately, which is buying stuff online clearance. I honestly haven't been spending much time doing that either. But I should for sure. What do we got? Trying to establish my own effective roadmap of the thrift stores that I go into. Any suggestions? Establish my own effective roadmap of the thrift stores that I go into. So, if I understand that question right, are you asking like once you get into the store, like what should be your order of operations? I can't tell you what yours should be, but I can tell you what mine is. Is that what you're asking? Let me know. I found marketplace prices are high a lot. Well, by me for sure. That's interesting. It's interesting. 7. What did I miss? Oh, Gigi, we got a coffee order. You know what we got to do? We got to stop everything that we're doing when we get a coffee order, and we got to get that coffee order shipped out. So we're going to do that for you right now. Gigi, we got some questions that I missed. I look at suits and blazers. Oh, got that one. A Ralph Lauren 100% wool is what you sold. Nice. I love selling Lauren, Ralph Lauren blazers. People hate on the Lauren, Ralph Laurens. I sell a ton of those Lauren, Ralph Lauren blazers. Of course, pattern matters, size matters, season matters, all that stuff. But our Goodwills in Virginia are not open on Sundays since COVID. Interesting. Ours are open on Sundays. I don't usually go, but ours are open on Sunday. Tennessee, I believe they're not open on Sundays. I find market price, and you know what? And we were out in the western part of North Carolina, like western West North Carolina, even further west than Asheville, last week. It's rural out there, and we were going to stop by a Goodwill in Franklin, and the Goodwill didn't open until I think it was like 1 o'clock. They were open like 1 to 5 on Sunday, and some of them weren't open at. I think some of them weren't open at all. We were looking at like Goodwills that we were going to go to, but most of them opened at 1 o'clock out there. So 1 to 5 on Sundays. Like church hours, I guess. Yes, I'm trying to find a better way of operations. How do you do it? I'm just trying to think. It's probably different for different stores. And it depends on the season. So if I were going to walk into like the Mills Gap today, what am I going to do? So I'm just going to go straight all the way to the back when I walk in, and I'm going to go to long sleeve shirts right now because we're changing over from short, like long sleeve season to short sleeve season. People aren't buying long sleeve shirts by and large. Consumers, like, like locals that are shopping at Goodwill, they're not buying long sleeve shirts. So for the last like few weeks, I'll go to that section first because that's probably where I'll find the best stuff. That'll change here over the next couple of weeks because what happens is nobody's going to buy any of the long sleeve shirts. So they're not going to stock any more long sleeve shirts because the long sleeve shirt section is like totally packed. And then they don't run tag sales or fill a bag sales or color, there's no color of the week. So that stuff's just going to be $5 and people are passing on it week after week after week for $5. It's never going to go anywhere. So then those same items will sit and rot for months on the long sleeve shirt rack. So right now I hit that. The last few weeks I've been hitting that first and then working my way back to the front of the store. That's just my order of operations. So then next I run into blazers, and next I run into pants, and then next I run into short sleeves, and that's how I work my way through. And somewhere along the line, I'll jump over and I'll skim the women's pants section. So I don't know. I don't really have a suggestion for order of operations. I don't know if there's like a best. It would just depend on the season. It would depend on your store. It would depend on what's popping. I'd go with the hot hand. Whatever you're finding. If the last time you went into a store and the long sleeve shirt section was popping, I'd go there first, and there's different reasons why one section might be hotter than the other. Like I said, the local shoppers buying patterns might be changing, and that might help you. They might just be stocking one section a little bit better. Or you just might be having good freaking luck on Wednesdays in the long sleeve section or the shoes section or whatever. So I would just go with the hot hand. That's what I do. I just go with whatever's hot. I go there first and I work my way out. I don't usually have a strategy from it. Once I go to the hot hand section, I just move out from there. So I told you right now I'm hot in the long sleeve shirt section in the back of the store. Now I'm in the back of the store. So I'm going to work my way back to the front and then I'm going to cash out and leave. Like there's not really like a ton of strategy. I just start with a hot hand and then just sort of work my way out of the store. Sometimes that means I'm starting in the front of the store and working towards the back, and then you get it. Go with the hot hand and figure it out from there. I find okay, you're buying it. You're good. I hope that helps, Big Trout. I don't know if that helps or not. I don't know if there's like a good strategy there. That's we gotta stop. We gotta get this coffee order out. I'm like breaking my own rules over here. Breaking my own rules. I'm gonna drop the link to our coffee website in the chat. Again, it's always in the video description as well too. If you want to check out our coffee, read more about it, see where it's coming from and all that. I just dropped it right there, but we do have a coffee order that just rolled in. So let's get this out the door. We got a bag of the Hooper's Creek medium roast. Right on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we said, I'm going to look at your name on the chat here. Gigi, right? Gigi. We'll go with Gigi. I see your God-given name on the order. But Gigi, thank you so much for your order. The Hooper's Creek medium roast, which is our favorite freaking coffee. This is what we started with. We were just a one coffee operation, one bag operation, and we started with this. This is our favorite coffee, Kim and I's, for years. And this is the medium roast, Hooper's Creek. The beans are from Chiapas, Mexico. Chiapas is the southernmost state in Mexico. And recently we made the change after the hurricane. We decided that we were going to donate $1.50 from every bag sold right down to our neighbors who were severely impacted by Hurricane Helene. So thank you, Gigi. Not only are you going to get yourself some delicious coffee, you're supporting our small business here, which is awesome too, but you're also supporting some folks who really got their butts kicked by Hurricane Helene. They're still getting back up on their feet. And I appreciate you doing that. This region is, I mean, we made so much progress, but we got so much. We got a long way to go, y'all. We got a long way to go. By supporting small businesses like this, you help. That helps. By coming and visiting, come visit. You'll have a great time. But thank you, Gigi. We get you some coffee out for you. All our coffee is available in ground or whole bean. Gigi's got ground coffee, but if you like to grind it yourself, like Kim and I do, we have the whole bean coffee too. And if you happen to have a French press and you make your coffee in a French press, we have a French press. Sorry for shaking you. We have a French press grind too, if you're into that sort of thing. So I'll get you a handwritten thank you note, Gigi. And thanks for subscribing. I'm guessing that this is your first coffee order too. Please, once you get the coffee, you make yourself a cup. Let us know what you think. Come back into a video, drop a comment or whatever. But thank you so much. Handwritten thank you note for you. All our eBay customers, all our Poshmark customers, all our coffee customers, you get a handwritten thank you note. And if you get your order in right now too, just like Gigi, we'll ship it out right here on the live. But you gotta hurry up quick because this is my last order. Oh, I have one more order. I have an international order after this. I forgot an eBay order. But if you get your order in now, we'll ship it out on the live with a big dose of gratitude, which is fun, I think. It's fun to like when's the last time Jeff Bezos came on and thanked you for all that money you spent on his website? Did he ever live stream thank you with a handwritten thank you card from his yacht in the Mediterranean? The biggest yacht ever in the world, by the way, like the biggest yacht ever constructed. Guy's basically got the Titanic. Is he going live? Is he sharing that gratitude? But everybody spends their money with Amazon. I do too, don't get me wrong, but you support small business. It just feels right. It just feels right. And this coffee is no joke too. This is fair trade. It's organic. It's roasted fresh every Thursday. Like this is not just like some content creator coming on here selling you coffee, marking it up. Like this is elite coffee. It's probably the best coffee you've ever had in your life. But I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Thank you. This is heading out today. It's only going down the street to South Carolina. You're going to get this nice and quick too. So our neighbor to the south, Gigi, thank you so much. That's awesome. People can't pronounce it, so Gigi is what I go with. I love how you're supporting. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. I think all your positive vibes. Appreciate the vibes. Little heart emoji. I love it. First order. Cool. I really appreciate that. That's cool. That's very cool. And that link, if somebody else wants to get some coffee, try it for the first time. If you have questions, you can let me know too. If you're like, well, I'm not sure like what to try, let me know what you currently drink. Like what's on the bag, like what's the name of the brand and what's the roast, and I can give you an idea of what I would recommend. We got one last sale, another Columbia. This is a men's size large, standard blue. I think this is a long sleeve. The reason I didn't ship this already is because this is an international order. I actually think it's going to a military base, but I can't do that in like my bulk shipping. I have to do that separate. So no big deal. It just means a couple extra clicks is all it means. But let's get that one out the door. This sold for $16 plus $6.95 shipping. This is on a best offer. I went back and forth with this buyer. This is going to Leicester. Leicester is somewhere on a military base. So I paid $5 for this shirt. At $16, I'm not making a lot of money, but this fills up the cart. Columbia sells well for me this time of year. I might make some money on the shipping label too. Yeah, that's going at an 8-ounce rate, which means it is going to cost me $4.57 to ship this. So I'll make a couple bucks off the shipping label too, or $1.50 off the shipping label. So what do I make on the shirt? Fees will be $313. $8. I'm gonna make like $9.75 on this shirt or something like that. let's see. Just a couple extra clicks you have to do when it's an international sale like this. It's not technically international, but you have to do the customs form when it's going to a military base. So yes, this is a long sleeve. I don't pick up like cotton. Most of the time I don't pick up cotton. Oh, it's gonna make me do the shipping label on my printer's not working. I forgot about this. I'm having trouble with my inkjet printer. It wants me to print out this big stupid label. I'm going to cancel this label. I'm going to do this on pirate ship. Crap. Just an annoying extra couple of steps. So I'm going to go back and cancel this shipping label. The joys of reselling. I'm going to cancel this shipping label. Cancel label. Other. All right, canceled that. So I'll get my money back for that label. Now I'm going to go back into pirate ship and I'm going to ship it there. The reason being, on pirate ship, I don't have to print out this big dumb label with the custom form. It fits it all onto one. Like I can print it on my my 4x8 label printer. So just got to do the label there. Give me 1 second here. Okay, that should be good. Men's shirt 11608. Cool. I have my pirate ship connected to men's shirt. I have my pirate ship integrated with eBay. So that way, like all the shipping information goes, like the address and all that stuff goes straight into pirate ship. And then when I print out this label, pirate ship will mark the item as shipped in eBay and put the tracking information on it. I just got to put in some details on the customs form and then we'll be done. Okay. What are your standard shipping again? I do shirts at $6.95. I do jeans and pants at $8.95, and I do blazers at $9.95 and suits and like heavy jackets at $12.95. Grand Advantage 4. So this label is going to cost me $4.57. Same as I buy it. It's going to be the same price through eBay or through pirate ship. This will just allow me to print it on my label printer instead of on like my inkjet, which is giving me problems right now. I think I need to replace my inkjet printer. I hate those things. They're junk. So I'm not going to show you like well, I can cover the address, I suppose. So this is the label that prints out when you go to an Air Force base or internationally, like if you ship direct international, it'll look like this, but this one's going to an Air Force base. And it's got a little customs label on there, or a customs form. They call it a customs declaration. Just means you got to enter like a couple little quick things. It's easy. But that whole little snafu is just about, on eBay, these labels print out and like it's a big like 8.5 by 11 thing. And I was like, I don't want to use my stupid inkjet. I want to use my 4x8 label printer. And pirate ship prints the whole thing right on this little one. I decided to list a few items on Poshmark and Mercari while watching the video. Both platforms suddenly got bombarded with spam. Desert, are you new to those platforms? You will definitely have that when you're new. Same thing on eBay. You probably experience this when you're new. You have like a low feedback score. Scammers are going to be everywhere, right? There's scammers everywhere you go in this world, and they are on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, and everywhere, right? But they're going to target people that are new to the platform most because they think that you might be an easy mark, right? That you might be more gullible, that you might not understand how the platform works. They can pull the wool over your eyes, but you're not going to let them do that. I have been getting, I noticed when I listed over the weekend on Poshmark on Saturday, I actually got like like 4 or 5 like scam people like within like a few minutes on Saturday. I thought that was strange. It doesn't happen to me too often anymore, but it did happen on Saturday. So they're out there. There's bad people everywhere, or there's people in desperate situations that are making bad decisions and they're trying to take advantage of you. And yeah, just be aware. Oh, thank you so much, Julie. Welcome aboard. You can always rewatch these lives. I'm going to sign off here in a couple of minutes, but these lives are always available as a replay on YouTube and on Facebook. I almost said Instagram, but what brand printer do you use? I use the IDPRT printer. I'll give you a direct link to the exact one that I use. I've been using this printer since 2021 was when I got this printer. June of 2021. So just about 4 full years. And yeah, I mean, I've put tens of thousands of labels through it. It is a freaking workhorse. I actually have 2 of them. I have one at my parents' house for when I go to Florida and source down there, so I can ship stuff from there too. What did I just do? Sorry. I've done this before. Here's the direct link right to, oh, that's not the right one. Here's the right one. Here's a direct link to the exact printer that I use. I'm not, that's why I'm surprised. Yeah, I had that same experience over like on Saturday, just a bunch of spam on Poshmark. I report all those people too, so that hopefully like they don't go after other people too. I just click the button where it says like, there's like a little flag, you hit that button and it's like report. And then I say transaction off Poshmark, because they're trying to scam you by getting a transaction off Poshmark. So that's what I do is I just report those people. It takes me like a couple of seconds. And then I usually take the extra step to block them, but Poshmark will take down their account anyway. But I appreciate, Julie, we'll put compliments on the screen anytime. Julie, I appreciate that. I decided, what did I miss? Let me know, Francis, if you caught all those too. I think we're good on that one. All right. I think now we are officially all shipped out. I do, if you want, let me know. Drop a Y or an N down below in the chat. I do have a return that came in over the weekend. I'd be happy to like go through the return process with anybody if you want. I probably won't do a shared screen with the return just because it'll show like the buyer's address and stuff like that. And I don't like to do that sort of stuff publicly, but I'll walk you through a return process if you're interested. I do have, I think, which is an eBay return. So just let me know. I have to do it anyway, so I can do it on the live if you want. If you're like, no, that's dumb, I don't like returns, and that's fine too. We never know what you're going to get into with a return. It could be an easy one, or it could be a mess. Probably an easy one, but hopefully an easy one. Hey, Mom, how are you? What's going on down there? You're supposed to be working, Mom. Don't let me. You want me to call your boss? I don't even know your boss's name. I had my first multiple sale day. What we got? I had my first multiple day sale day. Only 4 items, but it felt good. 4 items is great. 4 items is great. Good to know it can happen. I know not near the amount most people sell, but it was good for me. Joel, let's be honest about something right here. Like most people aren't selling more than 4 items a day. I mean, most people who do this, who play this game, it's a side hustle. It's something they do for a few extra bucks, filling in the gaps on the weekend, trying to make ends meet. So 4 sales is great. Like you are the side hustlers, the people who are just doing it for an extra buck. Like that's the norm. The stuff that, doing this full time, I don't think that's the norm, or should even be held on a pedestal. We just happen to have more sales to share and just more experience and more time to go on the internet and talk about it and stuff. But to me, Joel, you, the side hustler, getting your first 4 sale day, that's awesome. There's more of you than there's more of weirdos like me who decided to do this thing full time and go on the internet and stuff like that. So just because the full timers with social media accounts speak the loudest and fill up the most space, that doesn't mean that we're the most common thing, or that we deserve the extra recognition. It's folks like you, Joel, who are grinding it out and getting your first 4 sale day. To me, that's the pedestal. That's cool. You're doing what you got to do. to make a few extra bucks for your family. I'm making some assumptions here, but I'm probably right on most of that stuff. Sorry, Zoom meeting. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Francis. Appreciate you being here. Always appreciate it, Francis. You have buyers pay return shipping. Please do. Okay. You have buyers pay return shipping. I have free returns. And I do two things so that I can be what's called there's eBay's top rated seller program, which just means you have really good sales metrics over a period of time. You become an eBay top rated seller. There's another level of that called eBay top rated seller plus. And I do two additional things to make sure that I'm eBay top seller plus or top rated seller plus, which means I do 1 day handling time or less. I do 1 day handling time, and I offer free returns for my buyers. By doing those two things and having already being an eBay top rated seller based on having good seller metrics, that allows me to get 10% off my final value fees, which means those fees that eBay charges you to sell, I get 10% off those fees. So I do that because every month, ultimately, what I save by saving that 10% of the seller fees is more than what I pay in return shipping for people sending stuff back. So for me, I'm like, all right, that's the better deal. It also gives the buyer confidence when they see, free returns. They're like, all right, if this thing doesn't fit, I can return it. It gives a little bit of a buyer confidence. And I didn't realize an increased return rate when I didn't always do that, but I've been doing it for probably 4 years now. I've been eBay top rated seller plus, which means free returns. But I didn't see an increase in returns when I turned that on, if that makes sense. I have had more returns lately, like the last couple of months is like return frickin' city. But ultimately, like it didn't change my return rate. It just meant that it meant better money for me. Financially, it was a better move. Apart from eBay sales and comps, do you have any tools to research what stuff are selling on eBay? I don't. I mean, you can do the same thing on Poshmark, but I don't. That's just what I do. I look on the eBay sales and comps. I don't know if other people are using other tools. Maybe there are tools out there. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to be a top seller. I just want to be able to pay rent. It's a beautiful thing. I love when people come on here and they say, look, I'm saving for a vacation. We're going to Disney. I just want to make enough money to take the family to Disney. That's awesome. That's a great goal. In your pace, you just want to be able to pay rent. I freaking love it. I love it. I mean, the full timers, they get on the pedestal because we're the ones talking the loudest. We have the time to do it, right? Because we're not, in meetings or whatever all day. But it's the part timers that are doing the most of the sales. I think that's the cooler thing, frankly. And that's how it started for me. It was a side hustle. It was a way to make a few extra bucks. I had a great job. We were in a great financial situation, but more money is better than less money. And it was fun. I liked having my own thing. I also had another business. I had my career coaching practice, which I worked, I didn't work with a ton of clients because I had a full-time job, but I worked with, a few clients a week as a career coach. I did that full-time. My full-time job as a career coach, I was employed as one, but I also I had my own business doing it. And so I like having my own thing. I like being in charge and creating my own thing and changing my own thing and being my own boss. So I enjoyed when I started leaning into the reselling business. I really enjoyed that, and I started actually enjoying it more than like my coaching business. So I started leaning in that direction. But it was extra money, but it was a fun thing that was mine, and that's how it all started for me. I prefer listing random stuff. I like it. I'm doing the same. We got Big Trot. We're doing the same. I am currently top rated seller as part-time reseller, working to become a full-time part-time here in Western Tennessee. A full-time part-timer. Got it. I like it. You're doing great over there. You're doing great. Do you sell stuff that isn't clothing? I do, but not a ton of it. Over the years, I did a lot. For a long time, I would say I was probably like maybe 70% clothing. But as each year went on, it grew from like 70 to like 75 to like 80 to like 85. I kept leaning more into that category. And now I'm probably 95, maybe 98% clothing. So I do pick up some random stuff. It is garage sale season. I actually haven't been to a garage sale. We've just been doing stuff on the weekends. The last few weekends, we just had stuff going on. But in garage sale season, right, that's where I'll start picking up some, sporting goods, and I'm trying to like golf clubs. I like doing golf clubs. used to do a lot more of that stuff down in Florida, but I will do some of that stuff. I'll do like buyouts of, what did I buy? I bought like a bunch of Lennox stuff years ago, like a big buyout. I like that kind of stuff too, but I really I like doing the clothing. I've built sort of this office and my storage and like my processes around clothing. It just works well. When I buy stuff that's not clothing, it tends to sit around. It tends to get stuffed in the corner. I tend to ignore it. The process is just really set up well for clothing for me, so I've just leaned more and more into it. But when there's good opportunities for non-clothing stuff, um, I'll take them. Like I have a ton of boxes and I have bubble wrap and packing paper where I can play that game too and buy like vintage audio and things like that. But I just don't do as much of it anymore. Is 1.9% conversion rate already good considering I have 185 items and 30 sold? I just started a month ago. So a 1.9 conversion rate. I'm trying to figure out what the 1.9 comes from. Where's that math? I'm not seeing that math, but how I would calculate what you're talking about. So you have 30 items sold and 185 listed, but that means you had 215 total items. Anyway, we'll just do it based on what you said. 30 divided by 185. So I'm calculating that as a 16% sell-through rate. So you've sold 16% of your items in 30 days. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. I would personally not be like really excited about a 16% sell-through rate in the way that my business is constructed and the way that I've built it. But when you're just getting started and you got a 16% rate, like you're still learning the right things to grab. You're still learning probably the nuances of like how to get your photos dialed in and like promotion rates and like getting your like listings dialed and all that stuff. So to have that kind of like rate, the 16%, like and be your first month, I think is great. For me, I would be a little disappointed by 16%, but I'm also sort of in a different place. I typically like to have like a sell-through rate that's like 20 to 25% would be great. But typically in like those low 20s is where I'm kind of targeting. So 16 is good first month. It's great for first month, and I would encourage you to continue to refine, and you will. You'll get better with reps and stuff. I don't know where you get the 1.9 from, so let me know if the math that I just did makes sense. I just divided 30 items sold by 185 listed, but I think you're doing good. I think you're doing great actually. Remember, you can't compare your beginning to somebody else's middle or end, right? So comparing my sell-through rate to your sell-through rate isn't totally fair. Because I'm somewhere in the middle, I'm 6+ years into this. But for comparing that to somebody else who's 1 month in, yeah, I think you're doing great. Wow, it's in sale. Wow, it's in sale for 89. Wow, it's in sale for 89. Sophia, what are we talking about? What did I miss? What did I miss? Okay, we got this return. Keep the questions coming. I like it. Just got something delivered. All right, so we got a return, USPS Ground Advantage return. I paid for the shipping label. It automatically happens through eBay. I don't have to like go in and send the buyer the label. I offer free returns. So eBay, as soon as they open this return, they open a return request. It automatically gets approved by eBay because I have free returns. So it just does that, and it immediately sends the buyer a shipping label via email so that they can ship the label, they can ship the item back to me. So, this is kind of interesting. Okay, so it's in a poly bag, but this is not the poly bags I use. This is like the crinkly kind, if you know what I mean, like that thicker, louder, crinkly kind. It does kind of look. I did sell this shirt lately, so I'm gonna have to bring up this return, bring it up by the buyer's name, and see is this the right item first of all, because that's weird. It's not in one of my bags. It's in another bag, and the bag has a number on it. So we could be into an interesting territory here. So let's gonna bring up my orders, and I'm gonna bring up returns. And do I have a return for? I do have a return for Menegildo Xenia shirt. So let's look at the item. It does look like this item. So it's supposed to be a men's medium. I mean, they folded it. They bagged it. Those are really usually good things. It is a size medium. It looks like the same pattern in the photo. So I think we got a pretty legit return without any issues, hopefully. So what I'm going to do before I process this return or process the refund and relist this item, I'm going to first look at it under the photo lights. This allows me to see if it's developed any new stains or whatever in its travels. So this shirt sold for $27, I think. It's an Hermenegildo Xenia. The shirts do okay. The polos do great. I really like the blazers and suits, formal wear from Xenia. So let's just give this a look over. It looks good to me. I don't see any issues, so I think we're in the clear. So I'm just going to go ahead and refund the buyer for this and get this item relisted. And we'll fold it up, we'll bag it up, and we'll get it back out into inventory. If it sold once, it'll sell twice. All right. So first thing is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to issue the refund. So there's a button on the return that says issue refund. And I'm going to hit refund buyer. It's going to bring up a screen. The buyer paid $27 plus $6.95 shipping. It gives me the option to return the original shipping price of $6.95 too. I don't do that unless I made a mistake, like I put the wrong size on it or there was a hole that I didn't describe. I don't return their initial shipping. I paid for them to return the item here. That was free. I paid for that shipping label, but they paid to have me ship the item to them. I'm not refunding them back. I'm out that money. So I'm not giving them that back because they just decided that they didn't like the shirt. I think this one said, it said it doesn't fit, but I put measurements in the item title or in the description, and I put the size in there. That's my job. They didn't do their job of checking the measurements and it didn't fit. So I gave them a free return label, but I am not refunding their initial shipping. So I'm going to go ahead and click a total refund of $27, not the $6.95 shipping. I'm going to hit next. It says processing, and then I'm going to hit refund and relist for free. And I get the fee credits back too. So $4.68 that I paid in fees, I get that back. Excuse me. So that's processing. The refund has been initiated. It'll probably take a couple minutes, and then the buyer will get their refund. They'll get a notification that they get their money back. And that's probably the last I'll ever hear from the buyer. And the relist didn't work, so I'm going to just relist this item. Now that I can share my screen now that I didn't want to show you like the buyer's address and name and all that stuff, but I can share my screen now. Now that the return's done. So this is the item. And that's what they returned right there. Look at its mini peek down in the corner. So we're going to go ahead and relist this item. It's going to go out into bin number S4. I'll have to remember that. And it sold for $27 once. I'm just going to change it to $26.99 instead of $27. I've been doing more of that. 12-ounce rate, all that. It's good. All right. So I'm just going to hit relist on this. S4. Remember that. So list it. All right. that's done. So now what I'm going to do, so I don't forget, is I'm going to go into my Nifty right here. This is my cross lister, and I'm going to go ahead and resync this by hitting that button up there. What this is going to do is it's going to take a look at my eBay, my Poshmark, and my Mercari. It's right now looking through to see if there's anything new list that's been added since the last time that I did a resync. So it's just kind of comparing the last snapshot to the current look of each of those platforms. So comparing those two snapshots, and it's going to find anything is different. It's going to find that the Senya shirt, there it is, one item. It found it. There it is. It brings it in. It shows that it's currently listed on eBay. We're going to push this over to Poshmark and to Mercari right now. So all I have to do, because I put return policies in my eBay description, I just have to delete those from the Poshmark and Mercari listings because they have their own return policy stuff that I don't need to have my eBay stuff in there. So there it is. I'm just confirming that all the stuff is accurate, and I'm going to hit list on Poshmark. While this is happening, I'm going to go, my postal person is here, so I'm going to go talk to him real quick and get all this stuff outside. Hang tight. Coming out right now. All right, Jacob is here. All right, he's scanning all those things up. And we had a little tiff, not a tiff, but I had to talk to him because he was doing on Mondays when I'd have like 25 or 30 items is he would scan like 5 of the items and he wouldn't scan the rest of them. So what was happening was those items wouldn't get their scan until like Tuesday afternoon, and they were getting picked up on Monday. So what that makes it look like I'm shipping late because I have to ship. I have 1 day handling time. So I got to ship my Monday orders. They got to get scanned on Monday. So we just had to talk about it. But I think, we're on the same page now. So he told me that he's like, I've been scanning them all again. I'm sorry. Like, I just explained to him like, hey, when I sell these items on eBay and Poshmark, I have to ship them, the next day. And if I don't, if they're not scanned by the post office or by UPS or whatever the following day, it hurts my business because it'll hurt my seller metrics. And yeah, so I'm like, I really can't have that happen. It's either, they get scanned here out front, or I'm going to have to, take them into the post office. But like that's just the way it has to be. It's important to my business. I lose money. If I lose my top rated seller on eBay, I lose money. And if on Amazon, if I get my metrics hurt, right, I'm not going to get buy boxes and I won't get as much sales. So I'll lose money. So I just had to have a conversation with him. It wasn't a mean conversation. As you can imagine, we just chatted about it. He doesn't understand how eBay and Amazon works. That's not his job. Right. So once I gave him that understanding, he was like, okay, I get it. And I don't think he loves that he has to scan each of those items, but he gets paid to scan each of those items. So anyway, we had that conversation. I think we're good. Yeah, he's out there. He's scanning them all right now. So, but that happened a few weeks in a row where it was like, I kept seeing them. I'm like, man, how come all these items aren't showing up as shipped? I typically wouldn't notice it. If it was just like 1 or 2, I wouldn't have noticed it, but it was like 20. And then one week I had somebody who kept messaging me. They're like, when's my item going to ship? When's my item going to ship? I'm like, it already shipped. It's just the scan hasn't happened. I'm not sure why, but it's already gone. So I'm like, it left on Monday. And finally it scanned, like the scan came, like the item was already in Charlotte, 2.5 hours away. And that's when it got its first scan. And that's what so that to the buyer, that's when it looks like it got picked up or dropped off at the post office. Anyway, we're all bagged up. This is going to go back out into the garage in S4. Return is done. It's relisted on eBay, and then I recross listed it using Nifty onto Poshmark and Mercari. So it is now available on all those platforms. It'll sell again. So it was a nice, easy return. That's how most returns are. I've shared with you that there are some nightmare returns where people return the wrong item. Actually, I had one last week where they return the wrong item or they intentionally return the wrong item, and those are a pain. But most of them are not that. Most, 99% of returns are just, it doesn't fit. The person sends it back. It's nicely packaged. It wasn't worn. It wasn't stained. There was no issue. So that's what happened with this one, and I'm grateful for that. So, one second. Oh. Thanks for catching that, brother. I appreciate it. You guys take care. UPS in the USPS bin. You caught it. Crisis averted. What do we got here? I'm on a lot of eBay seller Facebook groups. I always think it's funny how many people want to fight the returns. I mean, yeah, I get it. They're annoying. It's not fun. You're like, I already put in all this work to get this money. I get it. But it's just part of the game. You can't accept some parts of the game and reject other parts of the game. It's all built in. Like if you play basketball, right? You can't just play offense and not play defense because you don't like defense. Like you got to play the game. You got to play both sides. And yeah, returns are part of the game with eBay, and they're definitely part of the game with Amazon. Much higher. Anyone who complains about eBay returns, start selling on Amazon, and you'll see a return rate that will make your head spin. So it's part of the game. Unfortunately, it's not fun, and I wish it wasn't, but it is. Everyone, thanks for hanging out today. I was going to ship today anyway and grind through all those orders. It's just a lot more fun when I get to share it with you and spend some time with you. So hopefully you learn something. Hopefully you crack tap a smile. Either way, if you hit that like button, if you haven't already, that helps me out. And if you haven't followed or subscribed, we're Chris at Peak on all the platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Chris at Peak. These lives are always available as a replay. So as soon as I log off here in a few seconds, you can rewatch this whole thing. You can fast forward through things that are boring. You can stuff that you missed that you want to see. You can rewind. You get it. So those are always available, and I'm always happy to answer. I respond to all those questions on the recordings too. We'll do this again next Monday. I'll be live and probably around 11. We were a little bit later today, but probably around 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I hope you have a great week. I hope you find some cool stuff, and I hope you take the extra time this week to look up a brand that you hadn't heard of before, and it turns out that item's worth pretty good money, and you flip that thing on eBay or Poshmark for good cash. And I want to hear all about it next week if that does happen to you. But get out there, keep hustling, be curious, and I'll see you next week. Peace.